Oh, hello guys, welcome back. I want to talk to you about listening when Loki says no. I've probably already covered this, but you know how recently I was talking to you about, like I'm seeing a lot of stuff with Lilith and Pazuzu and everything, and I wonder, are they trying to contact me? Well, it had felt like there was this really agitated energy. Now, I didn't know if that was like a precursor to Pazuzu and Lilith coming in or what it was. But it was Loki defending his patch and saying no. Loki and a couple others. I'm not quite sure who was involved, but I know there was more than Loki. Not that he's not capable of defending his patch by himself, but they are a family group. Him and La Santa and all the rest, they all are a family group and they will fight together. And they decided this is their territory. There are enough here. There are enough to provide for me. And if my idea of being provided for is vastly different than theirs, I just need to get my act together and learn what actual being provided for is all about. Little thing. Loki has told me repeatedly lately, we are simple people. If you're watching these YouTube channels and you're getting ideas of grandeur, well, I am sorry, honey, but we are simple people. And I'm like, okay. And I'm usually happy. I usually am content. I'm usually like over the moon to just like yesterday, my friend called out of the blue and her computer was acting up again. She said, "Can you please come fix it?" And I was going to go fix it today. And then I was like, "You want me to fix it tonight?" I can. I said, I think we have enough time. And she says, "Oh, could you please, if it gets dark, her friend come drive me home." I'm like, okay. And long story short, she calls again, invites me up for dinner since I'm coming up. So I got 2 grilled hot dogs, chocolate cake, and a Diet Coke out of just going to her house. She goes, "Is there anything I can do for you after I'm done?" Because it's always like something super simple that she says a prayer before the meal or she says a prayer before I start to work. And like I said, I don't care. That was the God I was raised with. I don't hate him. We never got along. I never felt comfortable in the Catholic Church. I always felt these other gods calling me. So, it's like we don't have hatred towards each other. We just I didn't work with the church, let's put it that way. I never had a problem with him. It was his church I didn't like. So I went up and Loki was actually kind of praising me. He's like, "I'm so glad and so happy that you show respect to other gods." I'm getting all teary and emotional, but he is really big on respect and being polite. He's not go into a church and say stupid stuff. He's not, "You should jump up and scream and defend me and demand you're not prayed over." I mean, we all probably went through that stupid, immature stage as we became witches, but I'm so prosecuted. But you can't, as an emotionally mature pagan, you can't do that. You have to remember that people love their gods like we love ours. And so, emotions. So we got that fixed and I got a ride home and it was just so beautiful because I usually, unless it's spring or summer, I don't get out at night. And I live in this tiny one-horse town and the only beautiful lights you get to see is if you're like up the hill on the library or if you're lucky enough to like walk around this corner and you can see the gas station and the Dairy Queen lit up. And that's like literally the only lights we have in this town because they won't let more businesses come in. And it's just so pretty. Because, decades ago, when my family was around and that, we used to go out at night all the time. And I missed that so much. So it was like this very healing thing. And so I made Celebration coffee, which usually it's Celebration tea. I'm not quite sure how hot I am on the coffee, but they love me for having tried. I put in the normal coffee spices and I put in the orange like I normally do. But she gave me apples and oranges to bring home, and I threw an apple in, and it does taste pretty good, but there's something off in the recipe. There was something I did not do, probably because I've gotten away from sugar, so there was like a speck of sugar left in the house. I put it in there, and that was just not enough, and I put a tiny bit of agave in there, and that was just not enough to, make it like you do. I mean, you usually put like a cup and a third cup of sugar in this stuff, and I made it pretty much black. So yeah, but we tried, and I'm still happy I have it. I had like 2 cups for breakfast. I just had to put like the sweet and low in it because there's no sugar in it, and I'm like, ugh. But, I also know that if I go back on all the sugar I was drinking, because I was drinking like 2 tablespoons of sugar per cup of coffee, and I was having like 5 cups of coffee a day, and then you like throw in creamer or milk, and yeah, it was. I think I've lost a little bit of weight, maybe not, but I knew that wasn't doing me any help, and I justified it by going, well, I don't eat much, but I've always noticed if I cut calories one way, I end up adding them back in another way. I do. So, to get back on topic, um, I agreed, and he and I had this pretty intense discussion, not like stressful, but intense discussion last night of, we are your family, we love you. There's just enough of us. We feel there's enough, and we're defending our patch. So this morning, my friend called, my other friend, has a business I have to go up to all the time because Xfinity won't let me alone. And long story short, someone found my ice cleat, and I'm like, I know exactly who found that ice cleat. And so she's going to be bringing it around 5 because she has a busy day today, doesn't have time to see me. So that worked out. And I had this little weird moment, not last night, but the night before, of I opened my door to put that skull out when I was still fighting with it. Well, so maybe it was the night before that, but anyhow, I'm fighting with the skull and it won't dry, and it's like has car paint on it, so I put it outside naturally. I did not paint it inside the house, but I thought it was dry. Going to put it back out, and I hear these 2 male voices, and they're way too close to be the neighbors or to even be on the road. It's pitch black out, and I thought they sounded like they were right in my yard. And I kind of got that sense you get when people are talking about you. And I got really weirded out, and I got back into my house. Now, logic says it was probably just neighbors talking somewhere. It wasn't even about me, and just the acoustics were weird. Because why would 2 random men be standing in my yard having a conversation about me specifically? But it kind of felt like they were judging something I had done recently. And I think I know which 2 it was, and I think I shouldn't have, but I overheard something I shouldn't have heard. And I think basically they were saying that I do love my gods, but I tend to overreach and, get a little greedy at times. Because, certain gods are like softer, easier way gods, and I'm like, I'm all about that. And Loki's like, no, we're simple people. So I had to kind of accept that, and I'm usually fine. 99 times out of 100, I'm fine. But sometimes I'm like, I'd like to go out every day because all my friends, they get to go out every day to eat, and they get to go shopping all the time, and they get to do all this stuff that most of us, when we have it in our life, we take it for granted. And I haven't been able to do that for years. And I'm like, I want to be able to do it, It's like, it's something we almost take for granted in this country, is something that we always have enough ready cash to do. And when you don't have it, it's like, it kind of sucks. So, I kind of had to accept his no. And you might be at a period of your life where he's saying no about something. And I can't advise you on that. It's just, you have to sit down with Loki. If you really want a yes, you have to sit down. I can't tell you what to do, but, for me, it wasn't important enough to get the yes, because I really didn't feel like I was clicking with Lilith or Pazuzu or anything. I like them. I always liked them. I always liked Baal when I read the Bible, but, I know they're not for me. I mean, if you work with them, you're very fortunate. Because, they're very loving, wonderful gods, and they're very protective, but it's like, I could tell they're not for me. More and more and more, Loki's making sure I have that kind of Norse, as he repeatedly points out, German in English culture around me. He's very proud to have been in England. He's like, I'm an English god. You should be more respectful. And I'm, oh God, Loki, please. But yeah, he's like, I don't care what they say about only Odin having been there or only Thor. I was there too. I was there too. And I'm like, I know you were there too. Explains so much. You know what I mean? It's like, we know he's in America. Look at how crazy this country is. But yeah. Like, please, Loki, stop playing with our elections. Look what we got now. But yeah, yeah, there goes all my subs. But yeah, when he says no, just kind of try to accept it with the best grace you can. I know it's not always easy, but you know, sometimes that's life. Sometimes he wants you to learn a lesson that you wouldn't learn if he had said yes. And you know, I can see him always gonna be okay. And I'm always going to have those small bits of fortune. I'm just not going back to the way my life was a couple of decades ago, where you could go shop on a daily basis and you could go eat out on a daily basis and you never, ever, ever had to worry. But that was when we had 3 adults bringing income into this house, and now it's like only 1. And, you know, times have changed. You don't have the income as an adult a lot of the times that even just your parents had, you know? So, I hope you guys like what you see. I had already done this and was uploading it, and I hated it, so I said we're going to do it again. So I hope you guys like what you see. Hope you guys are having a happy Monday. I know it kind of always sucks to start the week out again. I was like trying to work on the other channel, and I got down this game that didn't work, and I got down Resident Evil 7. I still can't get through one part, so we're never mentioning that on the other channel, and I'm just like, ugh, I'm uninspired. I'm glad I have like tomorrow's work recorded, because I'm done. I'm done for today. Okay, guys, I will see you later. Bye.